podcast. I am your host, Cosmic Waters. May my words inspire you and remind you to remain true to you as you walk authentically in your truth, dripping self-love and unapologetically choosing you. Hello, naked truthers. Welcome back. So, this week I want to dive into something that has been floating around social media. One of these words that's been trending or being really dragged through the mud. Almost the way in which they as in the collective, dragged the term narcissist. At one time, that was fucking all you was hearing. That word was everywhere, all over every social media. Everybody and their mother was talking about it. And I'm like, damn. So now I just keep seeing the word ghosting everywhere, And at one point, people were talking about gaslighting, but now we're on ghosting. And so it was one particular post that I saw that inspired this podcast. I was like, So, ghosting. How do y'all feel about ghosting? Where do y'all stand with that? I'm curious. And for those of you that may be listening and it's like, what the fuck is ghosting? Well, how it is defined, basically, and I kind of love this brief definition of it, is ghosting is a term used to describe when men or women drop off the face of the earth after starting the dating process. Now, some people associate ghosting particularly with dating, and others associate it dealing with anybody in your life, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to deal with just dating. So, however it fits or resonates with you. So, I'm going to read y'all a post I made on the Book of Faces, right? And we're just going to go from there. I'm going to see what else comes up as I read my thoughts and my perspective on the word ghosting. Or, I guess, the energy around it. So it goes a little something like this. Ghosting seems to be the new trend word or behavior aspect the collective is hyper-focused into. All I keep seeing with this discussion is what people feel other people should or shouldn't do. And that's literally the issue. We live in a world where we're groomed to be how others desire us to be and act, and we continue on the cycle. This is good, this is bad, this is evil, don't do this, don't do that, be more ladylike, man up. This is how a good person acts in the world, and this is what a bad person looks like. All of these things have literally been painted for us. They're not even our own thoughts. They've been impressed upon us, programmed within our brains. We are literally taught what is and what isn't, even down to the colors. We only know green as green because someone taught us that's what it was. It's all perspective based. Everyone is going to feel differently. What you see is disrespectful or childish, the next person doesn't. What you feel someone should or shouldn't do is honestly on you. That person doesn't have to live up to your expectations at all. It's all based off of judgment and personal experiences, as well as how one was raised, their morals, beliefs, societal constructs, etc. No one owes you anything, not even an explanation. I'll say that again. No one owes you anything, not even an explanation. I don't give a fuck who they are. It is not owed. Although some of you feel like it is. Some of you feel like you're entitled to an explanation. Anyway, so no, They're not obligated to sit down and have a conversation with you as to why they're choosing to walk away from you. Now, of course, people crave for closure. They want to know the why behind it all. And I get it. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't always play out that way. And yes, being able to have the difficult conversations with someone is indeed a beautiful thing. And I definitely encourage that. However, I also know we're all on different paths and awareness levels and healing journeys. And I don't expect everyone to be able to communicate as I do or to treat me as I treat them, because they're not the same version of me. So I'm not going to receive me from them. And that within itself makes all the difference as well. And I think, before I continue reading on, I think that is another issue that stems from all of this. The expectations that people have when it comes to other people that they deal with, no matter the title, the bond, the relationship that person may have. We go out into the world, into these connections, especially when it deals with family members or our partners, and we expect them to love us the way we love them. We expect them to treat us the way we treat them, to have the same kind of gentle heart, the same attributes and characteristics, and the same way that we would do for them. We automatically expect it. Every person is their own individual, and everybody is not going to be like you. You're not going to receive a you from them. You're not. And to have that expectation and to say, well, I would have did it for you, or I would have did this, right? Or I wouldn't have did you that way. Or, I deserve for you to explain to me why you want to leave. Whatever the case may be, you got to understand, everybody don't view life the way you do. Everybody doesn't share your same beliefs, your truths. Everybody doesn't even see your reality as a reality, because to them, your reality could be a motherfucking illusion, and vice versa. So when you approach life and when you approach situations that way, especially these relationships and these connections, when you approach them in that form, shit begins to get blurred. Things begin to get misconstrued. And this is how hearts begin to get broken and feelings begin to get hurt, because of the expectations not being met, because of the needs and the desires and the wants not being met, because of the potential that you saw in that person and you wanted them to live up to that potential, to that expectation that you had of them. You wanted them to fulfill that script that you wrote for them in your story. You wanted them to play that character that you saw for them, but they didn't live up to it. And now your feelings is hurt, and now you angry at them. For what? For being who they are? For not being who you wanted them to be? Now you angry at them. Now you're blaming them for your feelings being hurt, for your heart being broken, when all they did was show up as themselves, when all they did was be who they are, when all they did was say fuck your expectations. And your heart got crushed in the process. And that's why I said the lines begin to get blurred. Shit begins to get real, right? And so there has to be this understanding that people are going to be who they are. At the end of the day, people can wear as many masks as they choose, but that energy don't lie. They are going to be who they are, or who they think they are. They may not be who they are authentically to their core, because they may not know, but they're going to be that version of them that they think that they are, or that they think that other people want to see. And even that begins to create chaos, because one day all that shit gonna hit the fan when their soul gets tired of playing a role that is not truly resonating with them. right? And so it boils down to this Build-A-Bear energy, building people in your mind with the expectation or with the hope of the potential or who you desire them or want them to be for you or for your life, right? And like I said, when they don't live up to it, that's when shit gets real and the blame gets pointed at the other person. So just something to think about. Now, back to the post that I shared on the Book of Faces. So let's see, where did I leave off? Okay, so I was talking about how, people are not going to treat me like I treat them, and I'm not going to receive a me from them. And so I just wanted to touch on that a little bit, right? And so I wrote, I am a firm believer in reciprocity. So no, I don't allow people to treat me like shit. However, I know that reciprocal flow happens naturally. I don't have to force it or tell someone how they should be treating me. Energy speaks for itself, and so does boundaries. And at any given moment, I have the choice in who has access to me. So, with me saying this, reciprocity is a given. And anybody that comes into my life, automatically, I'm observing who they are, how they act, their motherfucking energy signature, right? And just in dealing with somebody and listening to them speak, man, you can find out a lot, okay? You definitely can. And in that moment, if that person's energy doesn't resonate with you, if their soul is ugly and it's just not hitting, that is your sign right there. Like, okay, cool. Nah, this ain't gonna work, And it is what it is. And you leave it the fuck alone. But oftentimes, people are like, okay, I can get this person to change, or I can help them heal. I can help them become a better version of themselves. And all the while, you trying to help them do this, that, and the third. Not realizing that if this person don't truly want to fucking change for themselves, not for you, but for themselves, that shit ain't gonna work. And when you try to force reciprocity, yeah, you're really gonna be in your feelings. Reciprocity can't be forced. That is something that naturally happens, right? And so yes, I set boundaries in all areas of my life. Reciprocity is demanded. My energy demands that, because I'm not gonna let anybody come into my life and play me. I set the stage in the way that I treat myself, right? And so I'm not gonna let anybody walk into my life and treat me in any kind of way. But I also don't project my expectations onto people when I meet them and be like, you have to do this for me, or you have to be this way, or you have to treat me like this, or I can't talk to you. No, I observe. I let people show me who they are. I let their energy talk. I listen to what the fuck they're saying and how they move. And that within itself tells me and shows me all I need to know. And when you pay attention to the signs of who a person truly is, there is no confusion. There is no, oh, well, I didn't know he was going to treat me like this, or I didn't know she was going to do me like that kind of energy, because they tell on themselves. But oftentimes, people ignore the red flags and the signs and the sirens that start blaring. They ignore it in hopes for change, and hopes for the potential that they see, or the quote-unquote good that they see in this person, and they get their motherfucking feelings hurt. So it's understanding that people gonna show you who they are. Believe it when they show you who they are. Believe that shit, right? And don't try to change them. Let them be who they are. They have to change on their own. And if that person doesn't resonate with you, if you can get with a person, or you meet up with a person, or begin dating a person, talking to a person, and you see that that person doesn't even truly love themselves, understand there's going to be a limit on how deep they can love you, because it is a limit on how deep they love themselves. Right? And if they don't love themselves, what makes you think that they are going to be able to love you when they don't know how to love who they are? They don't even know what that looks like for themselves. So when you connect with these people, the resonance has to be there, right? You have to be mindful of, you know what? I love me. But they don't fucking love themselves. So I can't fuck with them on that kind of level, especially not on a romantic level, right? Because like I said, that shit gonna be limited. And even when you attempt to love them deeply, they gonna look at you like you crazy because it's foreign to them. They don't even love themselves that way. And now your deep ass love is gonna become the enemy because it's almost like a threat. It's like, what is this? I'm not used to this. And it's almost like that sense of love and that sense of peace, that healthiness of a relationship is setting off their red flags or their warning signs, because that shit ain't toxic. And they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to accept it. They don't know how to receive it. And that is what I'm saying. We're all on different levels. So find the people, or I should say, invest in the people who resonate with you, who you know that you can give your time, energy, attention to, that is deserving of it. And stop wasting your time trying to build a barrier based off your expectations, or change someone, or heal someone, or save someone, whatever the case may be, right? And this is not to say that anyone is below you or you are above anyone. No, it's just being responsible and who you choose to, whether you laying down with this person or whether you trying to make this person obey. Making a responsible decision, an intelligent decision, and understanding that, like I said, this person don't love themselves, so how the fuck they gonna love me, right? Instead of like, oh, okay, it's cool, I know he don't love himself, or I know she don't love herself, but I can teach him how to do that, so I'm gonna take him on anyway, right? He this little project, or she this little project I'm gonna fix and I'm gonna take in, and I'm gonna show him how to do it. You end up getting yourself fucking hurt when they don't do it, or when they don't take well to your teaching. And now you set up these expectations, and when they bounce because they can't handle your version of what love is, or that deep, healthy love that you attempted to give them, when they ghost your ass for whatever the reason may be, now your feelings hurt. So I feel like ghosting can show up in many different ways. But it all depends on the perspective of the person that's viewing it. So, back to the post. At the end of the day, regardless of how you feel a person should behave, doesn't mean they're going to behave in such a way. All you're doing is setting yourself up for disappointment and heartache. People are going to be who they are. And some people lose themselves by attempting to appease others by being who they are not. Either way, a person will show you who they are if you pay attention to their mindset, what they believe, their body language, their energy, how they approach life, how they communicate, their level of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and emotional maturity, and so on and so forth. For those that deal with deep abandonment issues, of course, being ghosted is going to trigger the fuck out of them, because you are triggering their abandonment issues. And this is why I say ghosting is going to hit different for everybody. It depends on where they are on their healing journey. If you have somebody that has deep abandonment issues that they have not healed or worked on or let go of or even fucking faced, and you leave them, you ghost them, oh, shit's gonna hit the fan. You are gonna trigger everything that they experienced as a child or whoever abandoned them. All that shit is gonna come flowing back, right? Because they haven't dealt with it. So now it's like you're pouring salt on an open wound. You poured the whole motherfucking alcohol bottle on that wound, and that shit burning. And they don't know how to handle it. It's overwhelming. And now you're the villain in their story, right? And so, like I said, everyone's experience will be different. I've experienced people walking out of my life without ever saying a word. Literally, just fell off the face of the earth when I was younger. Whether it was a friendship or someone I was dating or fucking. And back then, it had me all in my feelings. Emotional as hell, mad as fuck, all that good shit. However, where I am now, I have this understanding that nothing lasts forever. We just desire it to. Change is inevitable, and not everyone is meant to stick around forever. At any given moment, your whole life can literally shift, and nothing will be the same. So that's basically knowing that you can't hold on to every person for forever. You know, that forever is painted within these fairy tales and these love stories that they show us on Lifetime and these movies that we see, and the way that it paints love, right? And even how it's passed down from generation to generation, and how marriage is taught and how monogamy is shown, and that one person forever, you my forever till death do us part kind of energy, right? Some shit literally doesn't last forever. Everything has a fucking expiration date, including people that come into your life. Not everybody that you meet is going to be around forever. And then you'll have people that you've known for 10 years. And let's just say one of y'all begins to elevate or grow or whatever the case may be. And now it's time for y'all to separate because y'all no longer resonate with each other. Y'all frequencies are no longer vibing at the same wavelength. It's time to let go and move on. But we get so caught up on I've invested so many years and so much time and energy into this person, I can't let them go. And the attachment is real. The human addiction is real. And we don't know how to fucking let go when it's time to. And I've dealt with this all throughout my life, right? Letting go has been a serious lesson for me this lifetime. And it's like, listen, cherish the moments, the time that you have with people. Some people literally only come in for a few months. And they teach you a lesson. They bless you in some way. They help you elevate. They help you grow. They share some wisdom, some knowledge. You know, they may help you build something, and then they dip. That's the way that it was meant to flow. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. Right? It doesn't mean that. It's just the way shit flowed. They came in, what was needed to be done was done, and now it's time for y'all to go y'all separate ways. Whether that's 10 years, 10 months, a couple weeks, or maybe it was just a passing in the grocery store. Whatever it is, you gotta stop trying to hold on so tightly to everyone and everything, and be open to releasing the energy. Because the longer you hold on to people, places, things, situations that are no longer meant to be in your life, you block your energy. You slow down your life. You block your own blessings. You become your own worst enemy, and you can't even see it because you're so focused on holding on. No, you can't leave me. I can't let them go. They're not going nowhere. That's mine. Back to that possessive bullshit that we was taught or shown, or how love was modeled for us that we picked up and just continued to do, right? So it's just honoring and accepting. Acceptance is big. That change is inevitable and nothing lasts for forever. So, moving on. Back to the post. And this was a long post, y'all. So, we almost at the end though. I also understand that other people's behavior have nothing to do with me. So a person choosing to ghost me doesn't affect my self-esteem or lower my worth. So don't allow someone ghosting you to make you question yourself or your worth. It was simply their choice to leave, and I honor that for what it is. And that's just like I was saying. Somebody leaving my life doesn't mean that I wasn't good enough or that I did something wrong, right? It's not gonna make me check myself and waver my self-esteem, and now I'm over here beating myself up. No. They had every right to walk away. That's their decision. And that's just, it is what it is. And that doesn't mean that I'm numb to it or I don't care. It just means there's just this level of detachment that I have, this level of acceptance, this level of understanding, you know? So, even at the age of 32, I've met people who I've connected with, was getting to know, and had dope conversations with, and then things just sort of fizzled out, and the conversation or connection no longer existed. Or things were going really, really great from my perspective, and then boom, I'm blocked on social media, or they're no longer answering my calls or my texts. It went from friends to complete strangers, and it could be one hell of an experience. Especially that friends to strangers shit. It's like, damn, I thought we was cool. You know, you meet somebody, shit's going well, and they just fucking disappear. And don't get me wrong, it can be upsetting. I would be lying to y'all if I said that, you know, I've never experienced some form of emotion or feeling behind this, you know, what they consider ghosting or what the world considers ghosting, right? Because I have. Like I said, in reading this post, I have experienced it throughout my life. My last 32 years of life, I've been really interested when it comes to letting go. And I've gotten really close to people and they've just upped and left, you know? Some people have given me that closure. Other people, it was just like, okay, they didn't want to fuck with me no more. And, well, I don't know. They just stopped answering to my calls and my texts. But it's all been a learning experience, right? And from where I used to be to where I am now, I just look at things differently. And it doesn't have that same effect on me anymore. You know, the art of detachment, it's beautiful. That art of unbotheredness, right? And I'm going to say this again. Acceptance. That is so huge. And just honoring your fucking peace. And not letting that shit knock you off your peace. It doesn't mean you can't feel your feelings or honor your emotions. But at the same time, it's knowing that I was good before you got here, and I'm going to be good when you going. I'm going to still be me. I appreciate you. I appreciate what we shared. Whether it was healthy, whether it was toxic, whether it was 5 years, 1 year, a couple days, whether it was the best time of my life, whatever. I appreciate it all. Because it was something there. There was a reason behind why we met. Right? And going back to the post, it says, I didn't demand them to explain why. I didn't get in my feelings about it. I didn't blame them or make them into an enemy or the villain in my story. It's just this level of acceptance and detachment and knowing that what is will be and what isn't won't. I cherish the moments I have with people, whether a few weeks or a few years. I also cherish my peace. So if someone chooses to leave, I express gratitude for whatever reason it was no longer meant for them to be in my life and they were removed. Or vice versa. Maybe I wasn't meant to be in theirs anymore. Either way, the disconnection was for a reason, and I closed the door behind them. No love lost, no hard feelings, no animosity, no regrets, no resentment, none of that. I don't chase, I don't beg, I don't throw grown-ass adult tantrums, I don't do the petty shit, none of that mess. I simply allow it, I accept it, and that is that. So for me, right, because this is me and my story, my experience, my perspective, it is not a requirement for people to give me closure. I give myself closure. The connection ending is closure. Constantly seeking closure is only keeping you stuck. It really is. Now, personally, if I don't desire to talk to someone anymore, I let them know what it is and what it isn't. I have no issue being upfront about it. But what I won't do is argue or try to negotiate with someone on why I'm choosing to walk away. When you tell someone you're walking away, the first thing they attempt to do is get you to stay. Instead of just respecting the fact that it isn't right for you anymore. They think about themselves and how hurt they're going to be and how fucked up it is for you to walk away and blah, blah, fucking blah. They can't even converse outside of their emotional cloud. So effective communication isn't always possible in these scenarios. And of course, this isn't the way it plays out every single time. I'm simply giving an example. Either way, as I said at the beginning of this, everyone is going to feel differently. Feel how you feel. Just know those expectations you place onto others eventually come back to bite you in the ass. And you end up being your own abuser by breaking your own heart because you placed your heart in the hands of expectations that were never guaranteed to be filled in the first place. Now I want to go back for a second because I know y'all been in a situation or a scenario to where you're trying to end things with people and they won't let fucking go. They become stalkers. They blow up your phone from different numbers. They try to approach you on different social media accounts. You got them blocked. They still stalking you. Like, shit gets real, right? Because they can't accept the fact that you don't want to deal with them anymore. And I'm talking about communication was actually had. You gave them closure. You shut that shit down, right? You shut it the fuck down. And they won't accept it. This word acceptance, listen, it is real. And it's like, listen, I don't want to deal with you anymore. I don't. For whatever the reason is, right? But when you start even getting into the explanation, now they're arguing with you for what's best for your life. Like, it's not you. Sorry, not sorry, but it's not you anymore. Maybe we've grown apart. This shit just ain't hitting for whatever the reason may be. Or maybe you just don't want to fuck with them anymore. And that is okay. We grow apart from people. We don't always grow together. There's nothing wrong from disconnecting. There is nothing wrong with walking away. It is not giving up. People need to learn how to let the fuck go and stop holding on and stop being fucking possessive. And I know I said that already, and I'm going to say it again. Because it needs to be learned. It needs to be fucking learned. So, where was I? I want to touch on the emotional cloud part that I said. Because also with this conversation that I was seeing on social media, people were arguing of, oh, well, people don't have the decency to say bye or end the conversation or to end the relationship, the friendship, the connection. They're just rude. They're this, they're that. Again, all perspective based, right? On how you break down these words or how you break down human behavior or how you were taught or what you were taught rude is or what disrespectful was. All been taught. And so the way you view that, like I was saying in the beginning, that person that's walking away doesn't see it as rude. They feel like they're doing what's best for them in their life, right? So when you are in your feelings, when you are deep in this emotional place, of course you're going to feel like you're under attack. And so trying to have a conversation during that time, the words are not going to stick. All you're going to see is that person is as the villain. That's it. That's it. And so even in desiring closure, sometimes when closure is given, it is still not accepted. And so I just want y'all to really think at seeing this from all sides of the spectrum, you know, just keeping an open mind when it comes to this word and how many different ways it can play out. And just understanding that Not everybody is going to see it how you do. Not everybody knows how to communicate that they don't want to fuck with you anymore. And yeah, you may see it as fucked up. They stop answering your calls. They stop answering your texts. They took you on a date and they ain't fucking like it for whatever reason. Although you thought everything was going good, or maybe they told you they had a good time, but now you ain't hear from them no more. And now you triggered, right? That goes back to those feelings of being abandoned, or feeling like you were played, or whatever emotion you want to insert there. And now you need them to sit down to explain, to make you feel better, to justify their actions, instead of just accepting it, instead of just letting go, instead of just sitting with your shit and your feelings and your emotions and whatever is being triggered in you and moving on with your life. Shit would be so much easier that way. It is what it is, though. I honor what everybody is, I honor it. So if you get in your feelings over this, it's okay. I know you're not going to see things the way I do. Some people is going to resonate with this, and for other people, it's making y'all cringe right now listening to me, if you made it this far. Because some people could have been like, you know what, this bullshit, and press pause and never listen to the ending. And that is quite all right. Sometimes I can play devil's advocate. Sometimes I can say shit that pushes people's buttons, right? But I can stand in the middle of a situation, of a conversation, and be like, but what about this? I can see it from your point of view. I get that. I'm not saying that you're right or wrong, but what about this view? Or have you thought about it from this perspective? So now there's more than just your perspective of A. What about B and C? D and E also makes a good point. F and G, right? What about it as a whole? When you take out your emotions, how do you see it then? Let me stop fucking with y'all. Seriously though. So let's see, because we're towards the end of my beautiful long ass post on the Book of Faces. Okay, yeah, so we just got finished talking about how you break your own heart. And so I just want to ask y'all, is your hand wrong? Is your heart in good hands? Is your heart in good hands? And when I ask that, I'm not asking you about somebody else's hands. That's a good question to ask yourself too. But I mean, your heart. Is your heart good in your own fucking hands? Is it safe in your own hands? Think about that. And I think I've asked y'all that before in one of my previous episodes. And then before I close this out, I just gave a brief little side note at the end, right? Because, people on social media, on these internet streets, they like to get big and bad. They like to project. They like to write these whole fucking long-ass paragraphs when they don't agree with people. So it says, I know this is touchy for some of you. That's cool. Be aware of your emotions. I won't entertain projections. Feel how you feel. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. You're entitled to your feelings. I'm simply just expressing my thoughts, and they don't have to agree with yours. Your truth is not my truth. Your perspective may not be my perspective. How you feel may not be how I feel, and that is okay. Be authentic and true to you. Be your own individual, right? Because you're going to do you at the end of the day, and I'm going to do me. And we could still exist in this world peacefully. It is quite all right. It's all love either way, y'all. Definitely. It's always going to be love. I just had to put my 2 cents in with this. I usually don't entertain the shit that's trending on social media, because a lot of the times it's based off of what the news be showing and all that bullshit that people play into, right? And people are arguing over that. Something to just cause more division and separation within the world and make people be at each other's necks. And I don't entertain that shit at all. But this was interesting. And I was like, you know what? I want to touch on it. I do. Because I've seen a couple of perspectives and I'm like, there's some truth in a lot of what I've seen. This is my side of the story, though. This is my side of the coin, and this is the lens that I'm looking out of, right? It's that lens of just acceptance, no judgment, no expectations. It is what it is. Nothing lasts forever. I'm not numb to life. I'm not bitter. I honor my peace. I honor me. I honor reciprocity. I honor allowing connections to be what they're going to be and what they are not. And I allow people the space to show me who they are. And then I move accordingly. If they don't resonate with me, cool. I can't fuck with you on this level. Or maybe I can't fuck with you at all. There's no hard feelings. There's no beef. It just is what it is. I'm very particular and I'm very picky with who I allow into my space, into my energy, who I allow to be close to me, who I allow in my inner circle, right? I've learned to be the observer. I've learned to think before I speak. I've learned to think before I act, before I move, if I even decide to move, because not everything desires or requires my movement in the first place. That stillness is real. And when you can sit there and be fucking unbothered, oh my God, it is so beautiful. So while we're talking about unbotheredness, I want to touch on this aspect a little bit because I experienced this pure unbothered energy the other day. Y'all, it was so beautiful. I was like, oh shit, this is what this feels like in the middle of a storm, in the middle of a attempt at an argument. I was unbothered. I was just chilling. You know, I had somebody project some emotions that they were feeling. You know, they called themselves going off on me or whatever through a text message, and I was like, interesting. And I didn't argue back, so it wasn't really an argument because I didn't give it my energy. You know, I was simply like, have a good day, threw up the peace symbol, you know, and I left it at that. Because why? I was having a beautiful fucking day, and I was not about to allow this individual to come into my energetic space and try to ruin that shit. They attempted to, but it was up to me, not them. It was up to me whether I was going to give them that power over my peace, and I fucking didn't. The block button is a beautiful motherfucking thing. I don't have to respond to anybody, any motherfucking body. I don't care who you are. And if you come at me with some bullshit, I'm going to tell you it's bullshit. But I'm going to do it in a way to where I still remain at peace. And I'm going to tell you to have a good day. Because I'm not petty, you know. There are times where I want to be petty. There are. I can admit to that. But it don't be worth it. It really don't. Like, I honor my energy for what it is. You know, that peacefulness. When you get to that place of peace, I used to look for peace outside of me. I used to always try to find it. What is peace? What does that look like? What does that feel like? When you finally have it within, I promise you, the shit that goes on in the world, the shit that goes on around you, the shit that other people are going through or carrying, you see it. You may hold compassion for them. You may hold space for them. But your insides, internally, you still at fucking peace. You are still sitting on your throne at peace. You are still having a good motherfucking day. Your vibrations are still high. You can be in the middle of fucking chaos and not feel like the world is ending. You know? And so experiencing that pure, unbothered energy was so beautiful. Especially when you encounter situations or people that may have been a trigger for you in the past, and they're not a trigger no more, or that situation is a trigger no more, or you don't give two fucks anymore. It is so beautiful. I just smiled and kept it moving. Kept sunbathing and living my best life. People are gonna be people. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. Right? I can't change anyone. I don't try to anymore. You know? And I wasn't about to bend over backwards to get this person to understand me. I wasn't about to explain shit because I don't owe anybody an explanation for how I choose to live my life or anything of the sort. No explanation needed at all, right? It is what it is. It is what it's not. What will be, and what won't. And that's the bottom line. Life could be so simple. We make it hard. So simple. Simplicity. Honor that. Adapt to it. Be it. Just be in simplicity. Just be life and enjoy fucking life. It doesn't have to be a struggle, man. It doesn't. It's a choice to struggle. Embrace simplicity. Embrace peace. Embrace unbotheredness. Embrace you and love. Embrace it all. Let go of the fuckery and the bullshit and all the struggle and all the back and forth, all that toxic shit. Let it go. Channel your inner Elsa and let that shit motherfucking go. And understand that people won't understand you, and that is okay. It is okay to be misunderstood. I could do a whole episode on just being misunderstood. People don't have to understand you, and people don't have to like you, and that is okay. You shouldn't need people to understand you. You shouldn't need people to like you. You don't need to be validated or understood by anyone. As long as you know who the fuck you are, as long as you get you, that's all that fucking matters. Validate yourself and stand strong in that. Okay? So what if they don't like what you do, what you say, or who you are, what you wear, how you show up in the world? They don't have to fucking like it. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, somebody somewhere is not going to be happy with a decision that you make. Who the fuck cares? Because it's not their life to live. It is yours. By you just being you and showing up authentically, you're going to piss people off just for that aspect alone. Just for the simple fact that you are unbothered, living your life, showing up authentically, unapologetically. Somebody somewhere is going to have a problem with that. And you have to let that shit go and be okay with it. And stop trying to explain yourself. Because no explanation is needed. Right? And this brings me back to something else I experienced just today. Or earlier yesterday. And I was in a clubhouse room. And it was dealing with astrology. And I had somebody message me, and they said to me, it's really sad to see you involved in such a room. And I opened this message, and I looked at it, and I stared, and I was like, ooh, the judgment that is oozing from this person and from this message. Now, back in the day, this would have bothered me. I would have begun to look at myself and judge myself, like, am I doing something wrong? Should I be in this room? Like, damn. It was a room about astrology, y'all. Not everybody resonates with astrology, and that's cool. You know, this particular being was deep into human design, and, you know, they have their thoughts and their beliefs and what they choose to honor and what they don't choose to honor or, you know, indulge in. And that's okay. And the funny part of it is they still came into the room, though, and they sat there for a little while and they listened. And then had the nerve to pop in my message and say, it's really sad to see you in such a room, yet here you are in the room with me. And I said back to this individual, you know, I said, hey, no worries, that's okay. I've learned on my journey that someone, somewhere, is going to be displeased by a decision I choose to make about my life, including the rooms that I choose to go to on this beautiful app. And that's okay, because I don't need anybody to approve what room I'm in. I don't. I go into the clubhouse rooms that I choose to go in, and that is that. And those who judge me for it, I give no fucks. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that catch my attention that I enjoy learning about. And that's what the fuck I'm gonna do, learn about it. Right? So it was just interesting to experience all of this the past few days. And I'm just sitting here and I'm proud of myself and I'm smiling. And I'm just like, man, I'm so grateful for growth and where I am now in my journey currently. Because this is the kind of shit that would have moved me. This is the kind of shit that would have left me emotional. This is the kind of shit I would have put myself through internal suffering over just these words alone. Because I used to care so deeply of what other people thought about me and what they had to say, and their words and their opinions held more weight than my own. Right? And it would drive me crazy. And this is what I'm saying. When you get to this place of peace inside and you understand that other people are going to have opinions and judgments and criticisms and their thoughts and opinions and whatever else about you and your life, they're just going to have it. And that's okay. Let them have it. Who the fuck cares? And I don't have any animosity towards this person because they said what they said. I'm still cool. There's no beef. Right? But it did open my eyes to see the level of judgment that was there. And it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. That's not going to stop me from going into astrology rooms. That's not going to stop me from being me. It's not. It's kind of like when you shift and you change and you grow and you elevate, you will come across certain people or situations or experiences. Certain things will begin to pop back up. And it's just like, let's see, have you really grown? Have you really changed? Have you really learned this lesson? And the way that you respond, or if you react, or however it goes, will let you know. Right? Like, okay, nah, she ain't get it. So we gotta keep giving her these lessons until she finally fucking get it. Please believe I'm at a place where I finally fucking get it. I refuse to keep repeating the same lessons. I repeated them so motherfucking long. I'm done with this infinity loop, this Ouroboros circle. I'm over it. I'm done with being on a hamster wheel, okay? I'm done with doing the same shit, expecting different results. I have left the level of insanity, okay? So that doesn't mean that, I don't have shit to work on. I'm not saying that. But I'm at a place now to where I've shown up as the healed version of me. I approach my life as the healed version of me. I put in all this work to be who I am, to be this healed version of me. So please understand that is what you're going to get. The healed cosmic. Okay? And the healed cosmic honors this place of unbotheredness. And you know what else I found out? People are bothered by your unbotheredness. And I find that hilarious. Like, how are you mad? Because I'm not mad. Because I am unbothered by your shenanigans. That blows me, y'all. It blows me away. People really feel some kind of way. That's just like when people try to argue with you, but you don't argue back. You're just looking at them. You give them no energy. They get hot. They get even more mad. And yes, I said even more mad, y'all. Y'all be alright. They do, though. They really fucking do. Pay attention to how people move, how they act, how they respond, or how they don't respond. Just pay attention. Pay attention to it all. Be the observer. And I'm telling you, people will show you who they are. And I said this so many times, but seriously, you will begin to see. You will begin to see it. People get mad when you put up fucking boundaries because now they can't be an energy vampire. Now they can't come dump all their shit on you. Now they can't get what they want from you, right? They get mad because they can't use you no more. And it's like, how are you mad at my boundaries? I am putting me first and you mad? Fuck you. You don't deserve to be in my life. Like, come on, man. Y'all. Okay. I am done. I'm going to close this out. I enjoyed recording this. I really did. I took y'all through ghosting. I took y'all through being unbothered. I shared some stories. Listen, have a beautiful day, y'all. A beautiful night, evening, morning, wherever you are. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Love on you. Be dope as fuck. Go be great. Simply just be. Enjoy life. Honor that inner peace. Honor yourself. Fuck people's thoughts and opinions and criticisms and judgments. They'll be the fuck alright. Do what is best for you. And finally, put you first. And if you've been ghosted before, it is okay. If you've been the ghoster, it is okay. Let it go. People come and go. Change is inevitable. Let it the fuck go. Stop holding on to the anger and the animosity and the bitterness, the grief, whatever emotion that you're feeling, feel it, acknowledge it, and let it go. Because holding on to that shit makes you miserable. Not the person who was the ghoster, but it makes you miserable. They're living their best life and you over here in misery, mad at them for ghosting you. Let it go. Learn from it and keep it moving. Right? And I'm not saying that your feelings are not valid. Feel how you feel. I said this. You are more than entitled to feel how you feel. Feel your shit, of course. Feel your shit. But also take accountability and understanding how you put yourself in this situation, right? Was there any red flags? Or maybe that person was just fucking great and there wasn't any red flags and they still ghosted your ass. That's okay too. Shit happens in life, y'all. Bounce back from it. Don't sit there and be miserable as fuck. Don't become bitter over somebody else's actions and behaviors. You cannot control other people. You can't control what they do, what they say, or how they act. All you can control is you. And that is it. So live your best life and stop giving these people the satisfaction of having power over you. Right? Stop allowing people to control you. Stop being people's puppet. When you allow people to push your buttons, you become their puppet. Because they know if they push this button, it's going to make you feel some way. They know if they say that, you're going to jump at them or respond. Now you angry. And now they got you. It's like playing chess. Make your next move your best move. Be smart about it. Be responsible. Be accountable. And live your best motherfucking life. And let all the bullshit go. It's not worth holding on to. It's not. But like I said, we all view things differently. This is just my perspective. So do what's best for you. Do what resonates with you. Right? Like I said, this probably made some of y'all cringe, and that's okay. And I'm not saying that I condone ghosting. But I'm also not saying that I see something wrong with it. You know? I just feel like if that person ain't resonating with you, it's okay to walk away. Do I feel like you owe an explanation? No. Do I feel like somebody owes me an explanation because they want to walk out of my life? No, I don't. But again, this is me and what I feel. So don't get in your feelings over it. Don't allow my podcast to get your panties in a bunch. Feel me? I'm not telling anybody to adapt to my way of thinking at all. I just encourage y'all to live your best life and let go of the fuckery and the bullshit. The shit that is gonna weigh you down. You know? And I get it. Feelings get involved and your heart gets broken. I get it. You know? But oftentimes ghosting usually happens early on in the dating process. Usually maybe you went on a couple dates and that person disappears. It's usually how ghosting occurs. And you know, and I guess it can show up in many different ways, like I said. Either way, I stand by my motherfucking words. Nobody don't owe you shit. Nobody don't owe me shit. You know? Reciprocity is key. Just pay attention, y'all. Just pay attention. Protect your energy and live your best motherfucking life. And if you're gonna be Casper out here in these streets, oh man, I was about to say something crazy. Listen, yeah, I'm done. Shout out to the Caspers. Okay, you gotta have fun. Gotta be able to laugh in life. I can't admit that I've been ghosted and I've been the ghoster. I've been a Casper in my life before. I have. I can be honest and say that. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. Like I said, there's going to come a time in your life where you're going to play the villain in somebody's story. It is what it is. It's the rotation of life. People are going to view you as the villain, even if you don't feel like you did nothing wrong or see what you did as wrong. Somebody's going to see it as wrong. So you're going to be a Casper one day. You're going to be the villain one day, okay? It's okay. Deep breath. Exhale. Let it go. Shake it off. Get up and dance. I hope y'all are feeling good and feeling great. This has been beautiful. I enjoyed this, like I said. I enjoy y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to my podcast. Thank you for sharing energy, for vibing with me, for just being here, for sharing my podcast, for rating it, for those of you that answer the questions on here. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my listeners in different countries. Shout out to my listeners in the U.S. I haven't quite made it to 50 states yet. I'm making my way there, though. Slow and steady wins the race. I look forward to the day that I hit all 50 states. And I can't wait to see what country I pick up next that I get listened to next. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the age groups that listen to me and all the many different platforms that y'all listen to me on. The analytics is honestly one of my favorite parts. I love to see where people are listening from, what they're listening on, the age range. I love to see it all. Whether I got a 62-year-old dope ass, maybe they're a grandma, or maybe I got somebody, 45-year-old auntie, or maybe I still got a teenager that's like 18, or, listening to me. I got love for everybody, no matter whether you man, woman, whether you don't identify with none of that shit and you just you. I got love for everybody. Okay, y'all. I've been dragging it enough. Much love. Remember, life is as beautiful as you allow it to be. Self-awareness and perspective is key. So choose wisely, beautiful souls. I'll see y'all next week. Much love, much gratitude, peace. One last thing, y'all. I just thought about something as I was ending this. Have you ever thought that maybe you got ghosted for a reason? Out of protection? Maybe, just maybe, you dodged a bullet because that person was going to come in and fuck some shit up in your life. Maybe that person was going to come bring some toxic shit, some chaos. And maybe, just maybe, your ancestors was like, nah, chief, this ain't the one, they gotta go. And that person ghosted you. Have you ever stopped to think about it from that perspective? How they say rejection is protection? So maybe, just maybe, you being ghosted was a good motherfucking thing. And maybe you should be grateful for it. That is all. Just a different perspective. Peace.